All right, today going to do the last of my reviews of Bruce Springsteen's tracks to the Lost albums. I've been doing them in order. My favorite album by far was the Streets of Philadelphia sessions. Number two was Twilight Hours. Three was Inyo. Four was Faithless. Five, I had Perfect World. Six, I had Somewhere North of Nashville. Thought they were all great. Truly, full of a lot of good songs and a lot of quality listening. At seven, I have, and by a long way at seven, by the way, I have LA Garage Sessions 83. And let me tell you why it's number seven. It's not really an album, it's a curiosity. And there's nothing wrong with a curiosity. I enjoyed listening to it. It's 18 songs recorded by Bruce in kind of in the formatting phase back in 1983. I guess you could say between Nebraska and Born in the USA, although the truth is most of Born in the USA was already recorded. It just wasn't released yet. But it's full of a lot of repetition and a lot of things that haven't been fleshed out. There's three songs on here with the exact same opening first verse, Unsatisfied Heart, The Fugitive's Dream, and then Fugitive's Dream Ballad. There's a couple other songs that have a very similar theme to it. Seven Tears, while the words aren't exactly the same, it's similar. And that theme, and there's a couple other songs that have that theme creep up too, which is, I had a wife, I had a family, I had a job, and it got taken from me. I lost it. I threw it all away. It's my fault. The world came back from something I did in the past. Some version of that going on in here. So nothing wrong with that. Just a lot of songs that are extraordinarily similar. A couple other songs, Richfield Whistle and I think Jim Deere are about a person who has been let out of Richfield prison and trying to find his way, but slips back. Again, the songs are different in some ways, although I think one of the songs starts out, "My name is James Lucas Deere," and the other one starts out, "My name is James Lucas." Again, just very similar, and really at some point should become one song. And that's what Bruce would have done had he made an album out of it. Same out of the other songs we're talking about. There's a song on here that's only 1 minute and 13 seconds long called "Little Girl Like You." Feels like it was just a quick idea that never really got fleshed out. And then there's 4 songs on here that have been released in some format or another since the LA Garage Sessions came out. One of them, which is the best song on this by far, is County Fair. Came out on the Essentials album. To me, it's a gem. Could have been on a lot of Bruce's albums. It's a really great song. It's in the exact same version here as it was on Essentials. The other 3 are actually lesser versions and more curiosity versions in some cases than what we actually got when they were released. My Hometown is on here, I guess, in its original version, but it's in a very, the lyrics are slightly different, but the voice is in a very hoarse, almost like Bruce had a concert the day before he sang this. I've never heard his voice like this before. It's interesting to listen to, and it's still a good song, right? But it's not as good as actually what got released. There's a version on here of Johnny Bye Bye that is not as good as the version that's on tracks 1. There's a studio version of Follow That Dream on here that actually can't touch the live versions that have been available on out there for a long time and on Amazon Music even of that song. It's a great, beautiful song. It's just, it loses something in the studio version that's on here. So more of a curiosity, more of a what was Bruce up to, more of an unfinished basement tapes, if you're a Bob Dylan fan, kind of feel than the other 6 albums, which were finished songs. 5 of them were finished albums. This is just stuff that Bruce was working on. Could there have been a good album here if he fleshed it out, got it down to 10 songs, got the band involved? Yeah, I think it possibly could have been a good album. It's 18 songs. Like I say, a lot of them repetitive. A couple songs that we haven't heard before that are my favorites. One I mentioned earlier is "Unsatisfied Heart." Of all the songs about I had a wife and kid and family and I lost it all, that's the best one of this group. And there's a song on here called "Don't Back Down on My Love," which is a nice mid-tempo rocker. It's got a lot of fun to it. It's a little cheesy because it's about a guy with 7 tears tattooed on his face, but I like the song "7 Tears." I like the music and the lyrics to that one as well. So there's some good music on here that we haven't heard before. There's a couple songs that I guess if you're a real bootleg collector, you've listened to a lot of these songs before, but I'm not such a Bruce fan that I go out and pull up every bootleg that can possibly be found, unfinished stuff. But there's songs that have been talked about for a long time. "The Klansman" and "Sugarland." I actually think they both disappoint a little bit. They're mysteries, but they aren't as good as the stuff that Bruce released in the 1980s or any other point of his career. I'll wrap this up by saying that doesn't mean I don't think it's worth listening to. It's just not something, when I think about going back now, okay, I really know all the music. Which album do I want to listen to? This is the one I would want to go to the least, because once that curiosity itch has been scratched, it's just not quite as entertaining as the other albums, and the quality of the music and the repetition kind of gets to you a little bit as well. I will say that on some Springsteen websites, there are people that say this is the best of the albums. I call that Bruce Springsteen timeline derangement syndrome, which goes like this. Anything Bruce did when he was younger is automatically better than anything he did later. And that's just not true. It's never really been true. And it's certainly not true in this case, where this is just a different kind of animal than the other 6 albums, even though it is the youngest Bruce material that's on here. So, number 7, LA Garage Sessions 83. I'm going to wrap this entire series with this comment, though. Bruce Springsteen has released an incredible amount of music. He's got, I don't know, was it 21 studio albums out there full of great songs. He released Tracks, which had 64 unreleased songs that weren't good enough to make it on his studio albums. He released a 3rd disc on the Essentials LP, which was like another, I think, 12 songs that weren't, maybe 10, that weren't good enough to be on any other albums. Had some great gems on there. On the Darkness Edge of Town Anniversary Edition, I don't remember if it was 30 or 35th or whatever, he had another like 20 songs from that session that didn't make it on Darkness Edge of Town. Some of them are great. He did the same thing for a River Anniversary Edition, a bunch of songs that didn't make it on the River. We're now up well over 100 songs that weren't even good enough to make it onto any of his albums. Now he comes out with Tracks 2, and it's 83 more songs that weren't good enough to make it on his albums, and I think 74 of them never been heard before in any format, and they're incredible as a group. There's a career for a musician in these 83 songs and these 7 albums. And so I just say, I don't know if any other artist, I don't follow him as close as Bruce, has ever done anything like that, and found almost 200 unreleased songs that I didn't think were good enough to put on my career's worth of albums that I can put out there, and they're quality and they're worth listening to. So, huge Springsteen fan, obviously. I've enjoyed doing this series. And I recommend the Lost album to anybody. You can listen to it for free on Amazon Music. You don't spend any money. It's a lot of fun. A lot of stuff I'll be listening to for many, many years, along with a lot of other Springsteen music. So appreciate it. Everybody have a great day. Thank you.